Captain on the bridge.
Alright, captains, we are back here on the bridge, and today, well, you've already saw the thumbnail. I'm going to continue on my little rant here just to get it out of my system. But before we do, there's a favor, captain, hit the like button, comment below. I would really like to know your thoughts, and maybe, just maybe, someone from DECA will see how we feel, or at least see how I feel. And of course, what am I talking about? Well, I am talking about the Proxima. Now, we did this video here earlier, of course, the going over of the Timeless Legacy bundle. And let me say, I did get all the ships. Now, also, before we get any further into this video, shout out to my caps here who are hanging out with us. You're going to get a shout out here. We have Lucifer, aka Sora, Haz here, aka Gideon Knight, and Steve, aka Steve-O. We wanted to get some smexy shelfies, and well, here it is. Definitely love that look. And again, as you can see, caps, I do have the Okinawa here. But what are we talking about in this video? Well, we know it's this ship right here. Now, this is probably definitely one of the first times I've been very disappointed in the seating of a ship. I have been before, but this takes the cake. Star Trek Legacy is one of the games that I definitely played growing up, so I was already aware of this ship. Actually, I forgot it actually had a TOS version, but the version I really want to concentrate on is this, the Proxima 2. And I saw this ship and I really thought, man, if this ever came to stow, which was a pipe dream then, this definitely has to be a torpedo boat. Why? I've said it in the video, and I'll say it again. Okay, look at the amount of torpedo tubes this thing has. Now, someone told me in the stream that we just did that these at the front are cannons, but they're the same size as the torpedo launchers there in that torpedo pod. So for me, visually, I'm going to count these as torpedoes, which means there's 6 torpedo launchers there in the front. And then you include the 4 on the torpedo pod right there that has 4. But behind it also has 4. And then at the aft of both twin hulls, you got 2 torpedo launchers. That's, oh my god. 8 in the back. Like, look at that. And 10 in the freaking 4. 18 launchers. For me, this should have been a slam dunk when it comes to what this ship should have been. Someone said, oh, because it's the deflectors. It has 4 deflectors. Bruh. The deflectors are only 4. The torpedo launchers are 18. This thing's out, the torps outnumber the deflectors. Again, I'm just disappointed. I have the ship, caps. I'm gonna have fun with it. But if we're talking about leaning into the visuals, just like what they did with the Shangri-La, and again, I mentioned this in the video going over the Legacy bundle. Thomas, I believe, was the one who said they wanted to lean into the visuals of that torpedo launcher that it had prominently on the front of the saucer. So guess what? They made it a command. They gave it a torpedo console. Like, this should have been a battleship and a 5-3 layout. Now, if you really wanted to make it the Psi Miracle Worker does not make sense to me. It does not make sense to me whatsoever. We can make it work because it has mixed armament synergy when it comes to the Miracle Worker powers. If you were going to make it a Psi, at least make it a 4-4 or a 5-2 with Sec Def and Hangar Bay. Shoot, take away the Hangar Bay. I don't really need it. And make it a full freaking somewhat command, even just a lieutenant commander command would have been okay. But no. Miracle Worker, Side Dreadnought. Disappointed. Really am. And it just, again, someone's saying that these are cannons. I disagree. They're the same size as torpedo launchers. They're torpedo launchers. If we're going to ignore that factor, even just ignore that. Look, there's 4 torpedo pod launchers there in that torpedo pod. And then you got that 8 in the aft. Really? Really? It still outnumbers the 4 deflectors. Now again, this is a beautiful ship. It's a dream come true to have this ship in stow. And I really do like the Pollux. I hope I'm saying that right, but this looks really cool. I cannot wait to get to use this ship. Definitely we're going to be doing videos on this as we normally do. But going back to the subject at hand, like, check this out. Now, what I'm going to do now, okay, is head over, put this back here on screen. Of course, there's the video. Now, as I mentioned, as we know, this game, this ship is from the game Star Trek Legacy. This is a video by Foxtrot Delta, who still plays Star Trek Legacy till this day with mods. I really wanted to get back to this game and forget. Anyways, look at the stats of the ship. Photon banks 7, phaser banks 2. That, to me, indicates that this is a torpedo boat. Plus, it says it right there, a battleship. It's a battleship. Bruh. Like, I'm not gonna lie, captains. When I saw the stats, I did this. Tables were flipped. 5 to 10, maybe 20. Just saying. Like, I really noped. It still stands true that I definitely am in it for the ship looks. But this was just such a great opportunity. Someone said, I believe it was Antar, that said, shout out to you, Antar. This is a great bundle, but it could have been even greater. I'm not the only one. If we go here, just to the comments below here, in the video that we did. Wildwood, why? Jody, 18 torpedo tube launchers. G, right? Who else made a comment here? Don't like the Proxima being a 4-3 weapon loadout for a battleship to be a 4-3 side dreadnought. It doesn't make sense. What the heck, Stowe? Same thing from Wildwood. Dreadnought battleship. So, you know, and even on the stream, there was people saying why they didn't understand. Just going off the old stats, why couldn't you just go off of this? You could have made this a battleship command torpedo launching ship. Instead, you made it a side dreadnought miracle worker. I just don't agree with it. I really don't. And again, I try not to be as negative, but I just have to point this out. It is such a missed opportunity. And the disappointment I feel is immeasurable. It really is. Now, again, I got the ships. That's because I had the tier 6 ship coupons to do so. And we're still going to fly her. We're going to put torpedoes on her and pretend it's a torp boat. But man, I know I'm just ranting at this point. It's just such a wasted opportunity to make this ship. Now, is it possible we can get another version of a Proxima 2 in the future? Who knows? Who knows? I'd really hope that there could be an option to maybe give us one that is an actual coming. Because if you captains remember, another ship that didn't make sense before was when they T6'd the Akira, the Elita. It was a pilot ship. Like, the Akira had torpedo tube launchers on the side of its saucer, and then they made it a bloody freaking pilot ship. Now, they made up for it years later with a legendary Kira, gave it command. This would have made so much sense. At least give it access to concentrated firepower. But because of the hangar bays that it has here, look at that. Right? Yeah. Give it the command power there where I can't even think. Call emergency artillery. Would have just made so much sense. So I'm not sure if any DECA employee is going to watch this. They might see the actual thumbnail that I do with this, which is just going to be something, say disappointment or whatever, something. But great job bringing it into Stowe. Poor decision on making it a side dreadnought miracle worker. Very poor decision in my opinion. So that's going to be enough of that ship talk. The last thing that we'll talk here before we head out this video, we're going to put this back and shout out to Stanky Boy for letting this know. We're going to go to Stowe Reddit. Now, as you know, captains, recently, or actually the stream before this, the stream we did the other day on Monday, we took out the Atlas. Why? Because they remastered it. But apparently, look at this. This is by Ultra Q here on Stowe Reddit. New Atlas variant confirmed. So I'm just going to play this little clip here. And then again, no credit to me. This is Stanky Boy and Ultra Q. But we'll just have a little listen of what Thomas says here. And we'll read between the lines.
We sometimes remaster things because we want to, and we get some time, we get some extra time or bandwidth to do it. All I'll say is this was not the case in that situation. So just keep, just keep your eyes, ears open.
Oh, so there's also like some.
So that was Thomas talking about the Atlas. Wasn't just the fact that they just remastered it, they're remastering it for a reason. So that could be a confirmation of an Atlas C-Store ship that could come with a DPRM. Now, the Atlas, of course, is already in a MUDS bundle. But could you imagine, Caps, if we got an Atlas that is a C-Store version that can come with a DPRM that is cheaper than buying it in a bundle? That would be something. So, indeed, we will keep our eyes open, our ears to the ground when it comes to that news, and of course we'll cover it here on the bridge. So that's going to be the video. Captains, I apologize if you're not used to me kind of talking like this, but I had to. I really wanted to, because it is something that I held dear in my heart. That was a hope, two-part hope. The one part was fulfilled, having the ship come to Stowe. Second part wasn't, and that was making a command ship. So again, I know I've said too much. I wanted to just make this video. Again, shout out to my caps who are here with me, Sora, Gideon, and Steve, for sticking around for this video. Appreciate you. Captains, appreciate all of you for the support. Comment below. I really want to know how you feel about the Proxima. Tell me, shouldn't have been a battleship? Shouldn't have been a command ship? Wouldn't have made more sense? Am I crazy? Hashtag Triz crazy? Maybe I am. I'd like to know. So, and of course, if you're new here, consider subscribing, and we're just going to leave it on this note.
Live long and prosper.